Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Josh and Jason Monday Christian and Conspiracy Podcast Show. I'm your host, Josh Monday. If you don't know me, I'm a Christian rapper, devoted husband, father, and Army veteran. And I'd like to introduce you to my co-host. He's a Christian, devoted husband, father. What's up, Jason? How's it going, bro?
What up, dude? Hey, what's up, Kevin? Way to go, man. Now
What's up, guys?
Back in the mix.
Back in it.
Again.
So we got returning guest Kevin Reidler. He's always down, to do this, and he's always very awesome. And I've actually had a lot of people tell me that they love you on the show. You're like a balance between me and my brother, because we're like we're brothers. So sometimes we get a little crazy.
Yeah,
and then you come in and
it's
balance us out.
Yeah.
So all right, guys. So today we're going to be going over HAARP, HAARP. All right, guys. And I'd like to go over some Bible verses first. My Bible verse, one of them is going to be 2 Corinthians 4:4. And it's going to be, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, could shine unto them. So the reason why I brought that verse up is because there's going to be some low frequency mind control type stuff that we're going to get into. So I feel like Satan, which is the God of this world, is blinding the minds of some of these believers. Okay, guys. And the next verse is going to be Ephesians 2 verses 1 and 2. Okay, this one is, and you hath he quickened who were dead in trespass and sins, wherein time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. So the reason why I brought that verse up is because HAARP is using, low frequency sound waves to sometimes cause people to have depression.
I was just looking up that verse right now.
Into it.
I was just trying to find that verse right now. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna say this verse right now. And he's like, and you're like, and the prince of the air. And I'm like, oh, right on, good. He's like, I'm like channeling my mind into you right now. I was like, that's awesome, bro. Way to go.
Yeah, that's actually I had to bring that one up, guys. Okay, so there we go with that, and let's get into just like a little intro on it. So HAARP stands for High Frequency Active Aerial Research Program. Okay, guys. So that's what the technical name is of it. Okay. So in the beginning in 1984, Arco Gas Company approached Dr. Bernard Eastland to help find a use for the natural gas that they owned in Alaska, because it was nearly impossible for them to transport it out. So he came up with some civilian applications that would have actually helped benefit civilians. And he also came up with some military applications to use the gas by heating it up to become electricity for HAARP, okay, to power these giant antennas. And in 1985, Dr. Bernard applied for these patents and some of the applications that they used at HAARP. And he actually got the patents for these, okay? And he made a deal with Arco to be able to use these patents that he created. A lot of this stuff he actually got from Nikola Tesla. Okay. So what he did is he took Nikola Tesla's ideas and he actually made it become a reality. So that's kind of where he got a lot of this stuff from. And he kind of used his own techniques as well. And it's kind of interesting that he also chose a particular antenna, because the rays from the antenna can be aimed at a particular target. And the antenna is called a phased array antenna. Okay, so it's kind of like, that's what's interesting about it is, once it's going to become a military application, and it's probably going to end up becoming used as a weapon, you're going to want to use the phased array antenna, which actually is, you can aim at wherever area you want to aim it at. So that's my intro. Kevin, did you want to go over anything? I got a second segment to this as well,
Yeah, so they take this electricity from these arrays. And actually, one thing that I found out that was pretty interesting is that the arrays are set up, there's 180 of them, and they're set up over 33 acres, which I thought was really interesting.
33 acres.
Yes,
interesting. That is interesting.
33 acres. But what they do is they dial this power up, which just to give you an idea of how much power The capacity can go up to 3.6 billion watts, which, just to give you an idea, is one single household does about 28,000 watts a day. So that's equivalent to like 126,000 homes of electricity. And they can fire this up into the ionosphere, which is about between, I think, 30 and 100 miles high.
Yeah.
And now, whether you want to, believe in the whole space thing, which I don't.
Yeah. I don't
but
either.
They're firing this up really high, and then they can pinpoint it, and then they can fire it down. It basically can hit back towards the ground. But they're doing all sorts of stuff with it. I mean, they're controlling weather. Like you said, they can cause earthquakes, all sorts of crazy stuff.
When you fire it up in the air like that, and you're shooting something into taking up space somewhere else, it has to have something take the space of it beneath it. So what they're saying is that it's causing the climate to change by having the updrafts coming through the system that when you shoot something in the sky, it's like you have to replace that space with something that's going, the ions are going up there with. So
it's like pushing the ionosphere up.
Yes,
which is crazy.
Yes, and it brings the drafts from the. It's very, people don't understand it. If you do look at it, and then the world is flat, and you see that there's a firmament up there.
Yes,
if you're pushing to get something. If you're pushing to get space, like say like a water bottle, like see that little space in there. If you keep on pushing a water bottle, and sooner or later it's either gonna pop, or somehow
they are trying to push on the firmament. They're trying to push the firmament out, and then it rebounds.
And it rebounds at an immense force back towards the earth. So this is crazy, man. I've never even studied this before. And I started seeing HAARP. I'm like, what is HAARP? It sounds like when you get like an old person insurance, like when they're like, oh, I got that HAARP. My leg's broken and I fell and I can't get up. And I got that AAA.
Bro, my wife said the same thing. She's like, well, you guys are doing a podcast on old people insurance. I was like, no, it's going to be HAARP. HAARP.
HAARP.
Okay, so guys, let's go over what they say that they were creating this for. Okay, so one of them was going to be a destroying missiles application. Okay, communication with submarines that are deep in the ocean. So they're going to send like low frequency sound waves to communicate to these submarines that are deep in the ocean. Also controlling communication. And another thing is disrupting communication. Controlling the weather or disrupting the weather is something that's also on the patent. They also wanted to possibly lift a portion of the ionosphere to deflect missiles. It's for navigation, surveillance, and then something that's called tomography. We're going to go over some of these as we go. Okay, guys, I don't want to. That's just kind of what they say that this for. This is
all chaos theory, though. This is all like, hey, you're coming into something where you're having an action and not thinking of a reaction that's going to happen. You don't think there's going to be a reaction to people and their animals, to migrating patterns, to just let alone your human body, your anatomy is going to react to this extra. You're messing with ley lines, man, and electricity,
they say it's messing with birds, especially like with bees and all that. This you're definitely, scientists are messing with stuff that they have, they know what they're doing. I mean,
but there's some things that are better left unfound. Just leave it alone. Why are you messing with, hey man, let's see what this does? And people are like, hey, when you start messing with that, something bad's gonna happen. They're like, well, it's okay. It's just for the advancement of technology. This sounds just like when the advancement of medical things. I'll bet you a lot of these people that are pushing these inventions probably have Nazi ties. They probably have Nazi ties to their German scientists from their parents, grandparents on. These are secrets that are probably taught to them. It's like, look, man, this is something different.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what I found super interesting, bro. As a military member, I know that you need to find out who the contractors are. Okay. So it went from ARCO, which I said in the beginning. Okay. It went from ARCO And when it was Arco, they basically they own the patents, Arco, and they also own that natural gas. So when it was Arco, it was just it started out with the Navy and the Air Force both together, working with Arco.
University of Alaska, I think, as well.
Yeah, and that they were kind of there just for the research part of this. Probably didn't get all the info on it. And Arco, it's interesting because Arco never had any military contracts in the past. They were actually going up against Raytheon. They were going up against these big defense contractors, and Arco took it because they had, the reason why is because they had the patents. So they felt Arco, the gas company, yes.
BP Oil. The BP runs Arco, dude. BP Oil runs that.
Okay, well, Arco, this is what they said.
I know, but you're talking
Arco.
BP Oil. You're talking BP Oil.
Okay, so BP Oil is maybe the technical term, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Well, you have to. You can't just say Arco gas. Like this is
this is what they literally said on. Like they literally said that Arco, because it was just a little sect of Arco, the company. Okay, so if you want to say
nothing
oil,
about BP, they didn't want to put that out there.
Probably not. But so the interesting thing was that it went from Arco, and then I think when they were with the defense contract, they felt like they were a little in over their head. So E-Systems took over, and E-Systems, they do a lot of top secret black projects, the type of stuff that like when Congress gets it, they don't even know what they're funding, and it went from E-Systems to Raytheon. Okay. And then Raytheon to BAE. So what happened is when BAE took over, BAE is actually called the British Aerospace Company. Okay.
And this is the most current contractor now?
Yes. And so it went from, we're going to say this, it went from E-Systems to Raytheon. And you guys need to look into Raytheon. Raytheon makes stuff like Patriot missiles.
Just
they
like
make
the Rain
bombs.
Corporation.
Yeah. Raytheon makes Patriot missiles, bombs, all these different things. And also if you look at BAE, the company that took over, it's a British aerospace company. Okay, guys. British Petroleum owns that. This is in 2003 when they took over. Okay, so when you look at 2003 when they took over, and then also DARPA took over, that's what happened right there. 2003, I believe that's when that they're dealing with a serious weapon. When DARPA takes over, if you guys look into DARPA, you're going to see that they deal with black projects. Everything is top secret, and you have to have a top secret security clearance to deal with their type of projects. So it went from the Navy, Air Force handling this with Arco, which is a regular company. E-Systems kind of got in there, so they kind of were probably messing with some stuff that's pretty top secret. And Raytheon took over, which they have some defense contracts that are probably super top secret as well. But it just was interesting to me that a British company took over and they started working with DARPA, hand in hand. And also, they they actually we paid actually $250 million in taxes to fund this project, the HARP. So that's a lot of money, dude, to go into some antennas that they
hold it in Alaska too. So nobody's got care. There's like population 780 people in Alaska. Yeah. So you can fry whoever you want. They're not gonna care. No one's gonna look into it. Like, okay, a couple Inuits ended up not making it this summer. They probably starved to death. No, they probably fried because
there were a couple people that started to look into this, and they got harassed pretty bad.
Yes.
So
for sure. I just feel like in 2003, that's when it switched from the Navy Air Force handling this thing to DARPA and BAE, which if you look into BAE, dude, they make warships. They have several contractors with Israel, South Africa, Sweden, United Kingdom, major business lines, armored vehicles, artillery systems, naval guns, naval ship repair, cybersecurity, intelligence services. This company is if you look into them, they're creating bombs, torpedoes. They are like a big weapons manufacturer that took over. Okay, so I think they needed this big company that handles this stuff along with DARPA. And then that's when they move forward with knowing that this is an actual weapon, because I
can pretty much guarantee you around that time too, is when the chemtrails started ramping up too.
Oh yeah, dude. Cause they started knowing like, hey, you know what? We can actually control weather here. Yeah. So I just want to go over this.
Have a show without the chemtrails, bro.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's all
Bust it
tied in.
out, bro.
This
Yes.
HAARP is tied
Yes.
into that.
For sure, because they're putting molecules into the sky, and what they do with they shoot this into the ionosphere, and it's actually electricity. So all those chemicals that they're putting in the sky are getting electricity put through them, right? So then it is changing parts of the weather. So
I know, just this is all great stuff, though, man. This is just them advancing technology no matter what, and they have no consequences. What limits can we reach now? You know, like
yes.
I think we're already reaching them now. These ley lines that they're reaching on the earth that they're altering. You know, like you said, Satan is the prince of the air.
Yep.
You know, and what is closest to the Antarctica, like the most North Pole and stuff like that. You got or Alaska. I'm talking about, like that gravitational pull. They have a lot of that. This science has been going on for a long time. This is not just. This has not just been going on for the last few years, and watching some of these videos and studying some of this stuff that I've been watching. Nikola Tesla had this stuff laid out. Man, that guy was a brilliant dude, man. That guy was
Yeah, and
so
he was like
smart
an underground side. He didn't get all the credit that he deserved, man. He's the type that
because he wanted to do it for free. He didn't want you have to pay for this stuff. This stuff we could have electricity for free. Thomas Edison's the one who found out how to meter it and get you to buy it. You know,
yeah, dude.
He was like,
"I'll give it to you now." For free. They're marking us on pricing. Okay, so Okay, so I kind of want to talk, kind of break this into segments. So let's get into the mind control part, guys. Let's talk about that, dude, because I think that's important. So the main goal in a war, which Jason, we've went over this before, is to not shoot one bullet, right? Yeah. And still win the war. Barbaric. So yeah, so there's this book called Angels Don't Play This Harp. Some of this information I kind of got from that. So in 1969, there was a book that was called Unless Peace Comes from G.F. Gordon MacDonald. And there's a chapter called How to Wreck Your Environment. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. He basically said that if we could electronically stroke the ionosphere in just the right way, we could send the signal back to Earth, and we could literally manipulate the behavior of populations of huge geographical areas that didn't have the technology, but they didn't have the technology to do that back then, but they do now with HAARP. So in 1985, they actually did an experiment at an Air Force base where they knew exactly how much low frequency energy needed to have effects on the human organs and on the human body and on the human mind. So they did these experiments in 85.
Yeah, maybe that's why, most people are walking around all zombified
right now.
Seriously.
Dude, because I think they switched. I mean, I'm going to be
still wearing a mask in their car by themselves.
I know, bro. I see it all day long, dude. They're just sitting there freaking looking around with double masks on, with double vaccinated. Anyways, so we got okay. So I believe that, okay, we're talking about that. So I'll bring it up. Okay. Because HAARP right now is basically on this, it's just ran by the college at this point. Okay. So now they just have to shoot these low frequency waves through, the towers that they have up, right? You guys know what towers it is. I don't want to get banned on YouTube. So, the towers that they put up. Now they could do the low frequency through the towers. And what's very interesting to me, if you're talking about the flat earth thing, is that radio waves shoot in a straight line, and Alaska would be in the middle of the flat earth map. So if they were doing this and they needed to shoot it in a straight line, then they could do it that way, or they could bounce it off of the firmament. So there's kind of some flat earth
satellites.
Stuff.
They got all these satellites they can bounce off. They can pinpoint
satellites. Listen to me. If there was really satellites, do you think they're going to be blasting 1 billion watts into the sky and blasting these satellites out of the sky? That's what would happen. Because what it is this is a thing that you got to look into, guys, if you guys believe in satellites. If there was all those satellites out there, right? Are they just right above the ionosphere? So they're going to be blasting this billions watts into the sky, making the ionosphere move up. And what if it hits one of the satellites and they just make all of them fall to the earth? Are they thinking about that? Are they not thinking about that? They must not have satellites out there, because why are they going to blast 1 million watts into the sky? Right? Does that make sense?
What about that rod they were talking about? That ion rod, like channeling it into a certain spot in the earth. Like you could create a catastrophic earthquake. Look at what is it? Look at Yellowstone. That's a freaking super quake, like a super
volcano.
Volcano.
Super volcano. That if you even like poop the wrong way out there, if you fart, if a bison farts, Reuters, that thing will go, and then that's taking off the rest of the world. No one's gonna survive that. There's gonna be no Noah. There's gonna be nobody left for that. So it's like God said, he's gonna judge this world by fire. So if you're messing with this type of stuff, you could vaporize the whole world.
Yeah. And let's so that's you could, but okay, that's what Tesla said. He said that he said he feels like he had the technology to split the earth in half. So he did say that. We'll get into the earthquakes in a little bit. So on the mind control, this is a dude that's making this stuff up, and they're doing it like he said this is a dude that they're following. Okay, so he's
Tesla,
like,
they're following
hey,
Tesla.
Yeah. I have the ability to split the world in half. Oh, let's check that. Let's check into that. Let's look into that type of technology. Let's see how that works. No. How dare you even bring that up? Chill on that technology. We don't need that technology right now. Why do we got to split the world in half? Okay. There's no reason to do that.
That's what he got these patents from. Was from Tesla, dude, from Nikolai Tesla. So he basically just put him into, took him and put him into reality, which is crazy.
Yeah, but who owns all of his who owns all of his patents?
Who owns all his patents? This guy doesn't own
Tesla's patents.
I don't know.
I think JP Morgan or somebody does. I think one of those guys that was
look it up and make sure, because I don't want to say that.
I don't want to say that. I'm thinking it is. I'm thinking it is, dude. One of those guys that was back
when Tesla died, and I'd have to look into this a little more because I don't know for sure, but I want to say Trump's uncle was the one who, when Tesla died, was able to confiscate all of his documents and patents and everything.
I think you're right, bro. I think you're right, and that's something that a lot of the
investigate. I forget.
A lot of the QAnon people are bringing that up.
Yeah.
You're right, bro. That's I think that's what it was, Jason. That's probably what you're
something like that. Someone had something to do
with the mind control, the human body and everything. So HAARP produces 50 times the energy needed to affect the human body and brain. They affect our bodies down to a molecular level. So it's like you're not going to be able to see it. Okay, you're just going to start feeling it. So what frequencies does HAARP use? Bernhardt, which is the doctor, stated that HAARP transmitter has been used to demonstrate the induced sideband distortions of transmitter HF waves that can be found at frequencies as low as 7 hertz and as high as 110 kilohertz for magnetic stimulated scatter. Okay, guys. So basically, these are low frequency waves. This is the type of stuff that the low frequency side effects that it has is you're going to have certain types of cancer. It's going to cause depression. It's going to cause miscarriages, and it also damages your cells, and it's going to cause carcinogen, reproductive, and neurological effects. It affects your behavior, your cardiovascular, your brain, your hormonal, and along with your immune system. Okay, it changes your immune system. That's something that Jason had brought up on one of our shows before, dude, when we were talking about the towers. So this is the type of stuff that they can actually shoot up in the air, low frequency, and then they beam it to wherever they want to go. So if there's an uprising, let's say like there's an uprising in the city of Rialto, we're all uprising against this mandates, right? And there's a bunch of people getting crazy and becoming soldiers now, trying to fight against they can actually take this beam and shoot it where they want to shoot it, use it as a weapon, and cause anxiety, depression, sleep apnea. That's another thing. That
docile, make people docile,
zombie-ish.
Yep. I think they're already doing it now because I've been noticing people have been super negative around my work. Like you come into my work and it's been super negative around, and it's been super negative around everywhere. Crime is up. I got
fighting on the planes
last week,
bro. People are fighting, dude. There's like 2,100 fights on the plane that they just reported. I think I just saw people are fighting like crazy. Now they could say that they're stressed out because of this, the mask, whatever they have to wear. But bro, there is some interesting stuff going on right now, dude, where you are noticing some, I don't know, we're just kind of saying it could
and
be,
maybe just because, and this is why you have to have the armor of God on, like the protecting your head, protecting your heart, protecting your soul, protecting your mouth, protecting everything that you're doing. This stuff they're trying to, man, they're frying us, bro. Cause I've been noticing I've been having like allergy problems. I don't know what it is, but I've never had this problems before. I'm super itchy and like I'm allergic to a lot of stuff lately. And it's like weird. Maybe it's just, maybe they are doing stuff on testing on people. Maybe they are like frying us right now, just heating up the frequency to see how people react to it. Because when you mess with electromagnetic fields, you could really start damaging everything. You damage.
Well, imagine the effects. Okay, if you look at it from a Christian perspective, imagine the effects, bro. Let's say there is a town that they're aiming that at, and there's like people that are feeling like they're depressed. They're going to church, they're walking with God, they're doing everything right, and they're feeling depressed and anxiety and sleep apnea. So that's why they say devil controls the airwaves. That's the type of stuff, man, that is terrible, dude. Like, can you imagine if there's like a city of people that are all Christian, they're like warriors for Christ, they're doing great, and all of a sudden they aim this beam there and it just starts to causing depression, sleep apnea, and all this bad stuff, dude. It's super evil, dude. In my opinion, the mind control part and all this, dude. It's super evil.
Maybe we are in the days of Noah. Maybe we are. This fact is going on. That maybe you're starting to see changes in life that's going to be different for everybody. That has to get used to this. I'm having a kid. You're having another kid. This is. I feel bad for them. Like I've already lived my life. And I'm trying to walk with God as much as possible. But I gotta try to make these changes for my kids. This is tiny effects in this world have huge effects on the rest of this world, and people don't understand that. It's like they say, like that butterfly effect, that thing that just little flutter over here can cause a hurricane over here. So this stuff is talking about huge amounts of energy. So CERN, you got things they're trying to tap into. They're trying to tap into energy that's.
They're trying to, like they're almost like trying to pierce the veil. They're trying to usher in spiritual forces onto the earth. Through this energy. I mean,
whoever taught them.
It's almost like a spirit of evilness has come over the world.
Here's the funny thing, bro. Whenever these conspiracies happen, there's always like a rabbit hole they want you to dig down. And anytime I bring up HAARP, like I brought it up this morning on a podcast, he was like, "Oh, that's a weather control thing, right?" So that's like what everybody relies on, is they end up just thinking that it controls the weather, which it does. Okay, and it was actually created to control the weather.
That's one benefit. That's not even a benefit. It's not one application that it could serve. Not 65 there. You can sit there and list them like, hey, this could really this could poison your atmosphere into, you could kill thousands of people in a day. You don't know.
Yeah, it was just interesting because they it's just like everybody I bring it up to, they always say the weather control thing, but they never say the mind control thing. They don't even know about that. You have to dig and dig and dig to find out about that part.
Yeah.
But the weather, we could talk about the weather control, here's something interesting in Dubai, which is they just happened. This is probably like about 2 weeks ago. In Dubai, they just made it rain by using drones to shoot electricity into clouds to make the raindrops larger so that they don't dry up by the time they hit the ground. So it started raining in Dubai. So they're doing it already. They're taking drones, putting it up in the sky, and causing these droplets to be bigger, and then they caused it to rain in Dubai. So the electricity into the sky can manipulate rain and manipulate the weather. This is actually on, fake news channels, right now. So this is something you can actually see.
Well, they cloud seeded in the Vietnam War to cause areas to cause a lot of rain. So
yeah,
maybe they've been cloud seeding.
They said it rained like every day in Vietnam, like every hour it rained.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. So and also there's in 1976, as far as weather modification, they signed a treaty that, like, all these different countries signed a treaty that says they cannot use weather modification against other countries, but they're allowed to use it against their own countries. So the United States is allowed to use the weather modification against their own country. And if you see, dude, if you see the amount of hurricanes that are happening and the amount of stuff that's happening compared to what it used to be like, it's crazy. Like, you see every single Hurricane Michael, Hurricane Michelle, Hurricane Lucy, was all over the place. So I just think it's interesting, man. I know they keep trying to say, well, it's climate control and blah, 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 and all this crap they're talking about. But a big part of this, man, is them just doing these experiments on their own people, right? Their own weather modification. And who knows if they're doing it to other countries. I know that China has this technology. I know that they signed this treaty, like thinking, oh, what if terrorists get this technology, But if they're worried about that, obviously they know that we already have
HAARP is obviously the largest array that is in the United States, but there's actually over 200 of them in the United States.
Yeah. So, smaller level and stuff like that.
They might even have them linked up to each other too.
Well, they also saying that they could shoot it into the ground and find, because when you
tomography.
When you bounce frequencies off the stuff, certain things, gold, silver, whatever it is that's buried beneath, gas, methane, anything that they can find, natural gas, it bounces back a different frequency. So this is how you know that they have like so much vast fossil fuels and everything, because they already know. They're shooting them in the ground like, okay, look, this is what we have here. We have all this stuff here. Oh, you got to conserve, you got to recycle, reuse, do all this stuff. We were running out of natural resources, and they have all the natural resources, and they already have found them all. They can find them anywhere now with this instrument. You can find natural resources.
Bro, they were only using 30 watts of electricity and they were at a 26 times that they shot the 30 watts, which is like, it's a machine. It's not the HAARP machine. Okay. What Jason's talking about is tomography, right? So they were only using
underground. They could
30
find
watts
everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Okay. The actual little machine they were using could find exactly what Jason's talking about. They could tell you, like, it's like a harp string. It's like it plays a different sound, like doom, doom. So that's what they call it, HAARP. So what it is they could find like crude oil, natural gas. They could find stuff like that. It's gas companies that use that. But what Jason's talking about is this, with this earth penetrating tomography that they're using with this HAARP system, they're finding nuclear facilities, mines, tunnels, gold, copper, using low frequency radio waves, and they're using like a billion watts of electricity.
3.6 billion.
Yeah. Okay, wow. Guys. So this is like,
that's like you can map the whole world.
30 watts compared to 3.6 billion watts. This guy was talking on this documentary. Like, okay, guys, think about that. Okay. What kind of sound is it going to make when you shoot a 3.6 billion watts into there? Yeah.
Sound, dude. It's gonna disintegrate the world.
Yeah. I'm gonna get zapped right now.
Yeah, it's gonna go through all, because the earth has crust, and that's like when they have like the tectonic plates, stuff like that. You even mess with that a little bit, and you're causing super earthquakes, volcanoes. Oh my gosh, is there no, like, come on, man, just leave some technology alone, dude. This is not.
So let's look at some examples, bro. Like, this is kind of interesting. So, like Haiti. They were against the lockdowns. They were against, giving their whole, the jab, giving their whole country the jab. They ended up having their president assassinated, and then a 7.2 earthquake hit, boom, and just crushed them, right? And just knocked down, whenever Haiti gets hit with these big earthquakes, dude, it's like their buildings are not the same as ours.
Yeah.
It just crushed them. They got hit with 2 earthquakes, actually, 2 7.2 earthquakes, dude. So you guys got to see, man, you
don't comply.
Yeah. Who knows, man, if it's natural, it's natural. But dude, just think about it, man. They have the ability to shoot this thing wherever they want, whatever target that they want, dude, And I believe the New World Order is here and everybody's working in unison. And there's just a few little countries left that aren't working with the New World Order. And you see how they get dealt with. Their leaders die of a heart attack. Their leaders get assassinated. And then you see a large earthquake or some natural disaster come and smash their whole country. So it's just crazy, man.
Did you send me that video of the Russians like digging down deep and sending like a microphone down there?
Yes, I did.
That was weird, bro.
That's when they were
crazy, bro.
That's when they dug like a certain amount of miles into the
earth. The
deepest,
Kola Ultra Deep.
Yeah,
the Kola Ultra Deep, like 8 miles.
You hear the screams of like the dam down in hell down there with that microphone. That's weird, dude.
They said they put a microphone.
Wow.
Did you hear about that?
No.
They said that they took a mic. They took a microphone and they made it so that it can handle like extreme heat. Right. And they just put the microphone down there, and there was like 17 seconds of recording where you can hear voices and people screaming like as if it was people in hell. Like that's now
on a crevice that went deeper. Like they hit a crevice that went way deeper, dude. This is crazy, man. Because what if they're shooting this stuff down there that far on the earth? They want to bring Hades up. They want to bring hell up. They want to bring that type of stuff back, like out of there. Like you're messing with CERN's messing with that type of stuff, trying to tear the veil, and this is trying to shoot.
So crazy,
planets and stuff like that. I can't even. I don't even believe it. I don't even believe in planets anymore, dude. I'm like looking at the sky. I'm like, there's a moon, stars, and that's it. What is going on out here, dude? I'm like freaking out now, dude. I'm like, is everything a lie? Everything's just a lie, dude.
Yes, Jason.
God, that's truth,
bro. You don't even know what I've been digging into.
Yeah, I know. I'm having a panic attack over here, bro. I'm like, what the heck? When you send me this video,
let me tell you something. Would you have more of a panic attack if we were going 66,000 miles an hour rotating around the sun when you know there's asteroids and all this stuff that we could be hitting or that we're spinning? Listen, dude.
That was the least.
They say we're going 666,000 miles an hour around the sun, bro. Okay,
why is it always even more crazy?
All right, I know.
360.
That's even more scary, bro. Like I started looking into all this stuff, and I'm like, that's even more scary, bro. They talk about what if we're hit by an asteroid, bro, where we're slamming into it at 66,000 miles an hour? That's way more scary.
Then HAARP sends a freaking pulse through the earth.
I know.
It knocks it off its so-called axis, and we're spinning off ours. Come on, man. What is going on here, dude? Just leave stuff alone, dude. Just leave it alone. We don't need to
breathe, Jason. Breathe.
This is weird, dude. It's like HAARP. I'm dealing with HAARP, Nephilim, constantly just secret societies, the Jesuits. I'm gonna snap on everything, dude.
Yeah, it's super interesting. But yeah, dude, I mean, we are digging deep into all this different stuff. It's kind of crazy. But okay, so there's a guy, Chris Roberts, that was on our podcast, our CERN podcast. And he told me way back then, dude, he said, listen, man, you guys are going to get into some stuff where you're just going to be tripped out. It's going to, you got to make sure you have a good will with God, a good backbone and a good will with God, because you're going to be really tripped out. But there's something interesting. So in Edinburgh, Scotland, they have the mystery of the Rosslyn hum.
On there now.
There's a maddening sound heard from Edinburgh, and they don't know if it's real or if it's a delusion, but everybody in the whole town feels like they heard it, and it's like
we're hearing this noise in their head.
Low hum. It's like not a voice, but it's a low hum. And what it is there's actually there's antennas there from World War II in this place. So this is very famous city for that in Scotland, where it's called the Rosslyn hum. And there's a bunch of people that feel like they have these symptoms that we were discussing. They were talking about not being able to sleep, talking about depression, talking about this maddening sound in their brain, makes them go crazy. And that could be where they're aiming this stuff, and just trying to see what can happen. And obviously they're getting
probably someone from World War II. They forgot to change it. They're like, oops, we've left this thing baking here on this part of the earth for too long. Yeah. We forgot to change it. My bad. Sorry.
Well, it's interesting because right next to one of my reservoirs, I see this sign that says low frequency radio waves right here. So I'm like, wow, okay. So that the cell phone towers have that, and there's signs there that say that they have low frequency radio waves. Yeah. So then I start reading about HAARP and start discussing. I'm like, oh my gosh, there was a guy that was sleeping in there. He's homeless. He was sleeping under that thing for like a whole 3 months. And dude, I'm not lying, bro. When I first talked to him when he first started sleeping there, because what it is, we all gave him a pass. Like he's sleeping there, and we're just like, you know what? We're not going to say anything. We'll just let you sleep there. He slept there for 3 months, bro. And I'm not lying, dude. He came up to me, and I felt like he was a lot. Like when I first talked to him, he sounded like he was okay. But by the 3rd month, I feel like he was literally out of his mind. He started telling me stuff. I'm not trying to make fun of the guy.
Not out of his mind. He's probably you're out of your mind. He's probably like, I can see the future, bro. You have no idea. Remember that movie with Roddy Piper with the glasses?
Oh yeah.
They live.
Yes, that's a great movie, dude.
It's a great movie.
He's like,
he went from. I'm telling you though, dude. I'm serious though, bro. He went from me talking to him saying like, "Hey, how's your day going?" And he's okay. To like by the 3rd month, he was like actually off his rocker, dude. So I think that could have been an example of this type of stuff, dude, because he actually slept under that thing for 3 months, dude. And there's radio waves and all this stuff, low frequency radio waves, just like we're discussing. So I just thought it was very interesting, man, that happened, dude. It was nuts. Let's see if I got anything else for this HAARP. Do you have anything else, Kevin, that you want to go over?
Not really. I mean, we pretty much covered a lot. All the natural disaster stuff. I know there's a couple things tied to HAARP that have been discussed. The Malaysian Airlines flight that went missing, MH370. Oh, yeah. Some people think that went missing. And remember that plane was never even found. They think that possibly HAARP, messed with the the instrumentation and all that. And then obviously the Japanese earthquake in 2011.
Yes.
With the tsunami.
Yep. That could have been definitely and there's a few other things that happen. I know that China definitely has this technology. I know that for sure. Because I've heard just recently just some stuff popped up conspiracy wise that they're actually using it right now, So, yeah, dude, it's interesting stuff, man. If you guys want to kind of dig deep into HAARP, and see if I don't know if I have anything else on it, man. I'm just trying to pull up my notes, dude, and see if I have anything else, man. I know I had some pretty good notes in here. So, Dubai. Yep, we did the weather control, weather modification. We're done with that. We did the radio waves. We already did the flat Earth stuff. So in conclusion, guys, what I would say is I don't think that they need to spend $250 million on mind control, because they found out that all they got to use is just the media, bro. And everybody's mind controlled right now. So they don't even need to use.
But that's also all sent in on waves, on frequency.
Yeah. That could be it could be a combination of both. The low frequency waves.
They want to do everything. They have untwisted the rope, dude. They have untwisted the knot. They have figured it out, and they are heating. They are. This is a powder keg now. This is not. I'm just waiting to see what are they going to do now. Just okay. So Arizona, those people are acting kind of bad right now. They're socially kind of getting a little weird. So let's fry them. Let's give them a couple of months of frying. Let's just fry them. Let's see what happens. Okay.
There's been some examples,
but you have it's like you observe it. If you have this is science. You have a long time to observe it. You have a small. You could do this in, like you said, in Alaska, because there's not a lot of people in Alaska, and you're not going to get you can't get a lot of information out of Alaska. Like if they really want to shut Alaska down, you're going to shut. No, they're not going to get nothing out of there. Okay. So now you're frying Alaska. People are out there just frying them, just doing all this stuff with the little low frequencies. You could have an all out just little town just kill each other. Who cares? They're not gonna. No one's gonna miss these 6-7 Inuit people. Let's see what happens. See what they do. And then okay, now on a broader scale, you do that like in LA County, LA. Okay, just boom, boom, boom. Now you got a full on riot. You know, you got full on riots. You got full on just like people like
that could starving. Be what was causing all those riots that were going on during that time, dude. Because it seemed like every single person was ready to riot, bro, for some reason during that time.
Not only that, there's no way to prove. There's no way to prove, that they're doing it. Really,
there's not. You're right, bro. I think that's interesting, dude. And
shove this in their, like they say, like Yuri Bezalel says, you shove it in their face, it'll be I know you got all this information, you got all this stuff, you got all these books, but I don't believe you.
Some people were feeling that
your face is melting right now. You're
hey, one document that I'm going to tell your listeners to go check out. It's really interesting. It's called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. It's a NASA document. Just if your listeners get a chance, really go check that out. It's pretty scary. And this really goes into the HAARP thing too. That's silent weapons. It's silent. You don't know that you're being bombarded with it. Silent weapons for quiet wars.
Silent but deadly.
Silent but deadly.
Silent weapons for quiet.
You can go. There's a website called I think stopthecrime.net, I believe. They have that document on there.
Okay. So. Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna check that out for sure. I guess there was also some people thought that this was used when and during the first Gulf War, when Iraq was, when they gave up, when they invaded Kuwait, they felt that the soldiers gave up quickly. And some people, like, this is a conspiracy, bro, I don't have any proof of this. They felt like this HAARP weapon was used during that time because they gave up pretty quick. It took 3 days and they gave up, and so, I don't know if it's true, but it's just something that's interesting. There was also some soldiers in Africa that also gave up when we were trying to fight them. So, you guys got to understand that this type of stuff is a silent weapon, that you don't want to be shooting bullets. Who wants to spend all that money on bullets? You could just use this to disrupt the human mind. And not saying they can control you like a robot, but they can actually make you feel some type of way: anxiety, depression, paranoia. Right. So. Yeah. They might be shooting at my head because I've been paranoid lately too. And Jason too, he was talking about it. Just kidding.
Paranoid?
No, you were saying.
I'm just like, this is just weird. Like,
no, I'm just kidding, bro.
Not crazy.
I was just kidding. Crazier it gets, the better for me, bro. I love it, man. I just like to dig into this stuff, dude. It's interesting.
It is interesting, but it's not interesting. And you're like, wow, now I know everything. It's like, what? Like. Hey man, well, why aren't you wearing a tinfoil hat? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, dude. They just got you. It doesn't matter.
Why do you think they talk about a tinfoil hat, bro? They wear a tinfoil hat to block themselves from
I know, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Doesn't matter. They penetrate your head, your ankles. They got modified mosquitoes. Everything, man. You got no chance. There's no chance anymore, dude. No chance. None. I'm just gonna.
All right. Whatever. We ended on some jokes, and we're gonna end on some prayers. So, Father God, in the name of Jesus, I know that you're exposing us to a lot of information, a lot of evil. We're trying to expose the evil, Lord. We just ask for a legion of angels around us to protect us from what we're finding out. Help us to explain this to our audience in a great way. Also, help anybody that's listening right now, that's in the audience, that needs prayer or needs help. Help them to reach out to us to pray for them, or Lord, you know what they need. So just help them out if you could, Lord. Thank you for everything. We appreciate the good connection, and thank you for bringing Kevin and Jason on the show, Lord. We love you. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Thank you guys again, man. You guys did awesome. And
thanks, guys. Had a great time.
Everybody that's listening, please share this podcast because we're being shadow banned. Please send it to all your friends. everybody that needs to hear it. And please subscribe to our YouTube. And also, if you could leave a comment on Apple, we would definitely appreciate it. And a 5-star review. We love you guys. And we
Karate
appreciate
kicking
you
us in the
guys.
face. Can't do
They
anything
are
about it.
giving us 60 views. They're tripping. All right. We love you guys. Thank you.
On, bro.